to The Lock Shop with Nielson and Hustler.
It is 11:03. Welcome to The Lock Shop. Look at this. Something the Edmonton Oilers can't do. I showed up 3 times in a row. Burn! That's a big time burn, isn't it? Oh boy, we are on fire early. You know it's going to be a good Lock Shop win. 780-218-9999 if you're listening on TuneIn or iHeart or at EdmontonSportsTalk.com. If you are having some hiccups, let it be known that our conversations continue with our online radio provider, and we're trying to get to the bottom of those, so hopefully we'll have that sorted out here shortly. Huss is going to be by. We'll talk about the Oilers. We'll talk about the Jets. You know what we are going to do today? We're going to dive into Team Canada a little bit here. What they say, there's like 30 names still in the mix, including everybody from the last roster. So what are you going to bring back the 3 goalies? No chance. All right, there's got to be some changes to the roster. I don't think you just run back the same thing again. I don't see it. So Huss and I on the NHL slate, maybe some early NFL lines, and Team Canada. We're gonna get into that as we work our way through the Lock Shop today. Feel free to text us 780-218-9999. Shout out to Nick Anderson, who is on the Hangout, did an absolutely fabulous job. He's very entertaining to listen to. I thought that was a pretty damn good show. So shout out to the boys for getting that done. Baptized Big Uke says, guy shows up 3 times in a row for the first time since Nam and think he's a top dog. Still host number 5. Host number 5, please. Come on, what are we talking about here? Don't do your guy like that. I baptized you, Big Uke. And now you say this about me? Unbelievable. What? Next time I'll shoot you in the back of the head. All right, here's what we got up. Our EST specials for the day. The Reed Wilkins Trent Frederick goal play of the day. Play Alberta just leaves that one up there. You know why? There's no risk. Is
that why?
I would probably suggest don't waste your money on that one. That's why it's still sitting up there. It's still plus 540. I don't know if it's like for every game moving forward until December 26th, because it's up till December 26th. So can you just get it? And then if he scores at any point between now and December 26th, you get it cashed?
Boom. Maybe do it then.
Yeah, maybe. And then my other early bird bet from this morning, Lakers money line in NBA Cup play against the Spurs. Lakers money line, DeAndre Ayton over 13.5 points. That one is sitting at plus 185. 780-218-9999. The Lock Shop is brought to you by Play Alberta. Use the code EST Sports. Deposit $50, get a $50 free bet. And, I have been meaning to dabble in online roulette a little bit more. But I just haven't had time. But maybe if things continue to slow down. One day you're going to hear Wannick's going to be sitting here doing Lock Shop. I have to do Lock Shop today. Dusty's playing roulette in his office. He's on a heater. You can't leave when you're on a heater. Anyway, use the casino bonus, EST Casino, deposit 50 and get a $50 to play with as well. They got a bunch of stuff over. I haven't dove into, I like betting on sports, but I haven't done much of the live dealers, but I've watched the other guys do some of the live dealers. We should do some live dealers one day. Hey, what do you think about that? One day on Lock Shop, we just pop into one of these poker rooms, we stream my browser and take a run at it, see what's up.
It always fascinates me that that's happening right now.
And they're live dealers
around the world.
I thought it was like AI, but it's a live person.
Yeah, that's why I'm like, can you imagine having that job? Like being telling someone, oh, what do you do? I'm a live dealer, virtual.
I don't,
someone's in the room.
I think we have time for like 20 minutes once a month, just hitting some roulette or some blackjack.
Yeah.
I think you guys would probably get pretty excited watching me do that, because I'll be full-blown meltdown.
That would be fun.
Yeah, I think that would be a pretty good time. VR Montenegro says, who's the new guy? Yeah, Big Uke says, you used to care about us back then. I still care about everybody. I'm just a busy guy. I'm just a busy guy with business stuff. You think I like being business guy? You think I like putting on a button-up shirt and doing my hair, going out to do meetings and stuff. That's not what I like to do, but it has to be done. Spency 5 cents, he said, I had a decent run in the online roulette. Black and low numbers. They were hitting for him. All right, maybe we'll try that sometime. Hey, that could be good as well. Anything to avoid talking about the Oilers losing the Buffalo Sabres. We got green screen Huss today, and I might have to put him at 7-Eleven again. All right, let's bring in Huss from Winnipeg Sports Talk. Huss, what's up, my man? How you doing?
Doing well. Sorry, I just finished a little segment coming up for today's show. A perfect little segue as we get into a little Olympic team talk, which I'm sure we'll get to today.
Yeah, we are going to dive into that. We're going to take a look at what Team Canada should look like today on the Lock Shop, which is fun.
Well, you know what was nice to see? Your guy McDavid putting his team on his back in the third period with those 2 goals. I think he has a good shot at being on the team after last night.
I mean, I think a lot of that team's going to be team success, Huss. I don't know if you need a guy stealing the spotlight like that.
What was that last night like? I mean, they got a point. A couple of the ugliest defensive plays. I mean, I know you guys have talked about Bouchard quite a bit. I was aghast. Like, I was at the Jet Stars game. I went across to your home away from home, the ENC after the game. Posted up. Watched the end of Colorado, Nashville. Had a couple beers. And then they got into the highlights of that Oiler game. And I was, as incredible as the McDavid goals were, that was on the other end of the spectrum ugly.
I thought maybe I was overreacting a little bit earlier today, Huss, but I'm not sure there's been a turnover worse in the National Hockey League all year. Like, how can you have one worse than right at the side of your own net on the stick of the team's best goal scorer? Like, how's that possible?
Like, I really feel for Skinner. Like, everything that he goes through in the market, the pressure that he's got on his shoulders, you know, with the hopes and the expectations that this Oiler team has. And then, you know, a guy that you're paying 10 sheets to does that last night. And obviously that's not an isolated incident. I mean, there's a big reason why when we get into this list that an uber talented player like Evan Bouchard isn't in the mix for Team Canada, I don't believe really at all, is because at times he is such a liability on the other end. But just a complete lack of focus last night. And can imagine people weren't too pleased in the nasty chat and on the Discord after the second period. Was it 3-0? And then how many times, at least twice this year, McDavid has basically just gone into a third period of an ugly game and said, screw this, done it himself.
Well, I think what's so frustrating about it is, like, they haven't won 3 in a row all year. It's their chance to get 3 in a row. They played pretty well for the last 4 games. They got shut out by Minnesota in there, but Wallstead was great. So they've been playing some pretty good hockey. You don't play well for probably a good 30-minute stretch leading into the third period. You take over the third period. McDavid scores with a second left, Huss. And McDavid basically doesn't show emotion anymore when he scores goals. He's just like, what? Part of my paycheck. It's business. He ties that game. He turns around. He slides. He fist pumps. The place is going nuts. And you're like, okay, like, this is it. They've stormed back. They're about to win 3 in a row. The place is going nuts. Your captain's showing emotion. And then you don't touch the puck in overtime. And it's in the back of your net 30 seconds later. It was just like when Donnie didn't roll a strike in Big Lebowski and then died when the nihilist came in the parking lot. Like, you're just like, that's not how this story's supposed to end. And I think I don't want to overstate one game, but that's one of those moments that sort of gets a season on track and they let it slide away because they're irresponsible in overtime.
That was one of the uglier overtime goals that you'll see from the losing team's perspective. I mean, just those guys standing straight-legged. What the heck? And Alex Tuck, I mean, all alone, rips it in, takes care of business. Nice win for Buffalo. I mean, that team has, had their fair share of bad losses and, they win a couple, then they lose to Calgary. So to get 2 points, I guess, was nice for them. But this just seemed, I think we're coming out of the end of the Oiler doldrums. You get 30 games after going to the Cup. You get to the holiday break, and then it's go time. Although this is a very different season in that I think go time for a lot of people might be really the beginning of March, because, we've got to have a really hectic January with 1 million games. And then our entire focus is going to be turning to the Olympic Games, presuming that it happens. But where are you at right now?
They're going to force it through, right? Like there's no way it's not going to happen.
Well, there's force it through. If
you got to find a place to play Olympic hockey. Like, I know they said there's no plan B, but like there has to. What are you going to just not have an Olympic hockey tournament?
Well, even if it's not the Olympics, like even if it's not sanctioned by the Olympics, like if the rink isn't ready and they say, you know what, sorry, we can't do this tournament as planned. The NHL, I pray, NHL and the NHLPA certainly, hopefully have talked to some of their own stakeholders, buildings that'll be empty because of the Olympic break, and play that, whether it's here in North America, whether it's in Finland and Sweden, like whatever. This tournament has to happen.
It has to go on. Yeah.
We have to have this best on best. And I don't know. It's funny. I was just talking to Matt Larkin about the team as well, and who's going to be in and who's going to be out. And, Dusty, it's the 10th today.
Yeah. It's 20 days, right?
From today.
Yeah, 21 days.
3 weeks from today is New Year's Eve, at which point everything is going to be finalized. Obviously, in and around the holidays, things will shut down. So, I think the culmination of all of these conversations is going to be basically the next sort of 10, 12 days. We'll get the final lists from all of the experts and the hockey sites, and we'll be kicking them around on shows like Edmonton Sports Talk and Winnipeg Sports Talk. And then we'll find out. So from the Oilers,
yeah,
how many likely Olympians right now, in your opinion, for Edmonton?
McDavid, Draisaitl, maybe Ekholm, maybe. I probably wouldn't have him on that team now.
The Swedes have a lot of good defensemen.
Yeah, like maybe Ekholm, but that would be it. What are the Jets looking at?
Hellebuck, lock. Morrissey, lock. Connor, pretty much a lock. And then Scheifele. Scheifele's the guy that...
Yeah, Scheifele's an interesting one.
Long. And I'm feeling pretty good about him right now. Like,
you are, hey?
Yeah, he's had such a monster season. And if you were thinking about in the moment, I know the team hasn't been doing well. Dude, they have been literally a one-line team. The Jets are getting nothing from anybody not on that top line. It's basically been the Scheifele and Connor show, and Gabe Velarde's been awesome too, playing with those guys. He had 2 more goals last night. He's playing the best hockey of his career. He's having a career year numbers-wise. Looking to be way in excess of 100 points. So while I was sort of 50-50 through it, and the other thing is just leaning on people in other markets with no skin in the game as to what they have right now. The majority of them have Mark Scheifele on the team. So if I had to bet right now, I'm taking Scheifele. If we had to put a line on it, I think he's sort of maybe like minus 150 or so to be on the team.
That's pretty good then. Yeah, that would be pretty good.
Yeah.
Okay, we were going to have this conversation today on Team Canada.
Hellebuck, of course.
Hellebuck. We'll get to the NHL slate here in a little bit, but we got some time today, so we wanted to sort of take a look at this Team Canada thing. As Huss said, 3 weeks from today, we'll see. Doug Armstrong told Pierre LeBrun yesterday or the day before that they're down to the low 30s right now in guys, saying that every player that was on the Four Nations face-off team remains in the mix for the Olympic squad. So, Huss, let's just start here as we try to work our way through this process. Let's just go through the Four Nations team, and if a guy is not a lock to be on the Olympic team, let's just make a list of those guys to see how many jobs might be up for grabs, all right? So, between the pipes, Binnington, Aiden Hill, and Montembeault. Binnington's going to be back on the team, right? I know he's not having a good year, but he's going to be there, isn't he?
I'd be shocked if he wasn't, but partially the rest of it is just that there's so little competition.
Yeah.
Like Binnington by the metrics and the numbers has been the worst goalie in the league this year. And
yeah, from what he's done this year, he shouldn't be on the team. But what he did in Four Nations and the fact that there's 2 other goalie spots, I think he's probably going to be on the team, right? So
he's going to be on the team. But the second worst goalie this year in the NHL, Montembeault.
He can't be on the team.
Out.
You can't run that guy back. Like, there's no way.
No.
And where do you come out on Aiden Hill? Isn't he banged up anyway?
He hasn't been playing.
Yeah.
And it might be another month before he plays.
Yeah, so he's out. You're not going to bring a guy who hasn't been playing. So that's 2. So Binnington will be back. There's 2 spots at goalie. Let's just stay there for a second. Okay, now let's go to defense. Makar, Morrissey, Taves, Theodore, Doughty. Doughty's going to be on the team. So that's 5. Okay, so what about Parayko? What about Sanheim? What about Thomas Harley?
I think the guy that probably got worked the most during the tournament last time, that is on now again, he's a St. Louis Blue. I mean, I'm thinking about Colton Parayko.
Yeah.
But again, Doug Armstrong is the GM. So I think that might be a little difficult to keep him off. But if you look at it, like for a long time, I kind of thought that this was just going to be that group. But there's a wild card in all of this.
Yeah.
There's a wild card in all of this.
Okay.
Matthew Schaefer. He's 18 years old. So a raw rookie, but you'd have a very hard time making the case that he's not one of the 8 best Canadian defensemen right now on the planet. And there's a benefit to have him around, I think, to be with the team. Like, even if he plays, say, a couple games and isn't in the main games, he is such a dynamic player. And if they were to lose a Morrissey or one of the more offensive guys, I mean, and he has absolutely no fear as well. I mean, that's the other thing about Schaefer. So I would love to see him on the team. I'm not sure whether that will be the case. It's a lot easier to say, hey, don't worry, you got lots of time ahead of you. But if it was up to me, I think I have him on that team probably over Parayko.
Well, like, I'm just looking here. Like, Matthew Schaefer is 5th among Canadian defensemen in points. He's +8. He's playing over 23 and a half minutes a night. The 4 defensemen who have more points than him, Josh Morrissey on the team, Chychrun, who's +24 for the Capitals. Why would nothing against Sanheim even, but look at the year Chychrun's having. Bouchard, we sort of had some fun with it yesterday when I was like, should he be in the conversation? He's been good for a month and a half, but that's completely eliminated and will never be brought up again. And then Cale Makar, obviously. I think there's a case here that Matthew Schaefer should probably be a part of that team in some fashion. And I don't think it would be too much for the kid, man. I honestly don't.
No. And Chychrun, that's the one guy I should have mentioned. He is the other player that I think has done enough to be on the squad. And then, I think Harley's on it for sure. He's been out, but he just returned to the Stars lineup last night. We all remember his heroics. I mean, coming off the beach, wherever the hell he was, and then couldn't even skate with the team. And then next thing you know, he's playing in the semi.
He hasn't had a good year with Dallas, though.
No.
I would probably have Harley ahead of Sanheim and maybe Parayko. But I don't know if, Chychrun's having a phenomenal year. I'm trying to think of these guys. If they bring all these guys back and they're only in the low 30s, which guys are legitimately in this conversation now, right? I would think that Chychrun and Schaefer have to be some part of the conversation.
100%.
And then you've got the other 5 guys that we think will be back for sure in Doughty and Theodore and Taves and Makar and Morrissey. And then look, man, after Schaefer, Morgan Riley's not going to be on the team. What are you looking at here? Noah Dobson's not going to be on the team. I've watched a few Habs games. He hasn't looked good, in my opinion. I mean, what other options really are there further down the list? Like,
I mean, the thing is, they don't need to go way down the list to try to find a guy. I mean, you need to go up and bounce somebody that's already there off the team. And I think we just went through it. There's two guys that have a chance to be in there, and it's those two.
Schaefer and Chychrun.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, see, so, I mean, you could go those five guys. You could see Armstrong keeping Parayko. They go with Schaefer and Chychrun and Sanheim and, well, they might put Harley in there. I don't know. We'll see what happens. What about the goals? Like, we'll get to the forwards in a second. Plus, we talked about two goalies that probably shouldn't be there. Bennington probably doesn't deserve to be there for his season, but he'll be there. Is this Logan Thompson for sure on that team?
Well, okay. You or I, being sane people that watch the National Hockey League, that have been paying attention for the last year, would say, yeah, of course it's Logan Thompson, and he's the starter, and it's unquestioned, and that is our guy. He's been the best goalie in the world for the last year, not just Canadian, but of any. Was right there for the Vezina last season. Of course it's going to be him. The problem is that, if you talk to anybody, the way that he left Vegas, and obviously having Cassidy involved and these guys, like there is, I believe, some personal differences, shall we say, between some of the management of Vegas and coaching that is involved with Team Canada and a guy that, if you recall, they traded during the draft in Vegas when VGK was hosting, and Logan Thompson was in the middle of a upper deck fan signing.
He was.
While we were there, and basically gets news that he's traded. One of the more bizarre circumstances for a guy to be traded in recent NHL history. And then we can't ignore the fact that he wasn't named to the camp. Like, he basically has not been on any list from Hockey Canada.
Yeah, he wasn't even on the orientation camp. But they only had the three goalies on. Hockey Canada could not roll out the team in 3 weeks with Montembeault on the team. The Habs don't even want him on their team. Right? Like, you need to take the goaltenders who are playing the best. And you're right. Like, Logan Thompson has a career .913 save percentage. He's basically been good wherever he went, whether it was Vegas or Washington. Like, it should be an automatic.
He's been amazing, and there's no one really close. Now, Mackenzie Blackwood obviously has played well in Colorado. Everyone in Colorado seems to be playing very well right now. And then the other one, and this is, a guy that's won a cup, that's having a strong season.
Darcy Kemper?
Darcy Kemper. I believe was a finalist for the Vezina last year. So if it's me, I'm going Logan Thompson, Darcy Kemper, and I would be fine if they wanted to put Blackwood on it, because Binnington has sucked this year and frankly doesn't deserve it and is such a head case that I do wonder if all of a sudden, after winning in the fashion that they did in the Four Nations, if he's not the starter, how he takes that and handles it. But I think he's going to be on the team. And the big question is, do they actually play him thinking that, oh, listen, it's an international tournament, it's a big game, he's just going to revert into who he is? Or we realized that the Winnipeg Jets slayed the Blues, Binnington, in 1.6 seconds in Game 7, and he and that team have never been the same since. Albeit maybe the Jets haven't been the same since either, to be perfectly honest, watching them play this year. But I have to say that Binnington on the team hopefully never sees the crease.
All right, so there's the goaltender conversation. We took a look at the back end. Now, as far as Four Nations forwards go, Huss, I'm going to read through the list. If you think they're not a lock to be on this team,
okay,
let me know. Sam Bennett,
not a lock.
Okay, Anthony Cirelli, even with the Tampa ties here. Yeah, I remember this.
Not a lock.
Okay, Sidney Crosby, lock, obviously. Brandon Hagel.
It would be shocking if both of the Tampa guys weren't on the team.
Yeah.
He's probably there. But I think of those Tampa guys, at least one of them might not be there.
Okay. Seth Jarvis.
I mean, a lock is probably strong.
Probably
but
too strong. Yeah.
I think he's on the team, but I mean, he's not Crosby or McDavid.
Travis Konechny.
Not a lock.
Nathan McKinnon, lock.
Yeah.
Brad Marchand.
Not a lock.
Marner.
Lock.
McDavid.
Well, as I said, after last night, I think we can put him on the team.
Braden Point's already on. He was one of the first 6. Sam Reinhart.
Which is wild because Point has been terrible this year.
Yeah,
and
he's
honestly,
had a bad year.
He wasn't named in the summer. I'm not sure whether he's there. Sam Reinhart's a lock.
And then Mark Stone.
Not a lock.
All right, so we're looking at locks would be Crosby, Marner, McKinnon, Point, McDavid, Reinhart, probably one of the 2 Tampa guys. So I guess that's what I'm saying is that there's quite a bit of wiggle room here. Like you could see there's room for 5 like there's room for Celebrini and Tom Wilson and Scheifele. Hell, even maybe Bedard with this group that we've just sort of listed off, right? Like there's now how loyal do you think they have to be to these guys considering they did win gold at the Four Nations?
Well, I don't think they have to be.
How do you think they will be, and do you think it could be detrimental?
I think they will be. Like I have a feeling when this team is made, we're going to sit here and go, you know what? There's probably a couple players that deserve to be on that aren't, and it's at the expense of guys that played a role and were there in the Four Nations. You can argue that it's not necessarily the best team for 2026, but I do think that there'll be quite a bit of continuancy from that, and in particular, guys like the Hagels and the Cirellis. If we're just talking about right now, would they be there? I don't know, but probably. I mean, listen, it's not like Tampa hasn't been good this year. I mean, Braden Point is the one of those guys that's really struggled this year, and he's the one that's already on the team. And John Cooper's the head coach, so take that for what.
Man, Braden Point is having a bad year. I didn't realize. Like in 23 games, he has 4 goals, 13 points, and is -10. Whereas the other 2 Tampa guys that we were discussing, Cirelli's kind of just Cirelli, 9 goals, 9 assists, plus 15, and he's going to be on Cooper's team. That's going to be a thing. And then Hagel is kind of followed up where he was last year. He's plus 17 with 29 points in 29 games. So you are right.
Hagel's in. Hagel's in.
I think Cirelli will be in too. I think Cooper will have them both.
For sure. And I mean, Cirelli plays that role. Those guys will probably play together quite a bit. I believe they did back at
man, how is Braden Point -10? Like,
oh man, and you go to those graphics, those analytics charts, like those graphs, you know,
like the entire team is plus. Right? The entire team is plus, except for him and Oliver Bjorkstrand, who's -6. Like everybody else is, yeah. It's like Point is almost single-handedly hurting Tampa so far this year, which is crazy to me.
So let's talk about guys in the mix to be on the team that weren't.
Okay.
So Celebrini, Scheifele,
Bedard,
Nick Suzuki, Connor Bedard. Do you think that they would take both Celebrini and Bedard? Or is that going to probably come down to one of those 2 guys?
I think they could take both of them. I don't know if both will be in their top 12. You know?
For sure.
Right.
I think Celebrini's in the top 12. To me, I think because he is, I mean, he's a great 200-foot player and has the great speed, incredibly dynamic. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if he ends up getting a spot on, you know, maybe like the second line, like playing with a Sidney Crosby. We did think about that Mick and Mac line. Imagine McKinnon, Crosby, and Max Celebrini. How good would that be?
That'd be a good line. Like
All number 1 overall picks.
The top 12 Canadian scoring forwards right now. Okay. McKinnon, 51 points, plus 35. He's already got 24 goals. McDavid, 44 points. Celebrini, 43 points. Bedard, 40 points. Scheifele, 38 points. A name we have not mentioned, but a player I do really like, Wyatt Johnston, has 36 points. Nick Suzuki, 33 points. Morgan Geekie, there's been some buzz about him being looked at. He's got 22 goals in 31 games, but he's shooting at almost 28%, and he's -2 on the year. Tom Wilson, 32 points in 30 games. This got to be a career year for Wilson. He's got 32 points in 30 games.
He's killing it.
Bo Horvat, 31 points in 31 games. Sidney Crosby, 31 and 28. Brad Marchand, 31 and 27. And then, it's interesting. Right below Brad Marchand is Tavares. And YouTube Trev was trying to make a case for Tavares on Team Canada. And Tavares is having a pretty good year. I don't know if he makes the club, but you got time for John Tavares to maybe be in the mix?
I've got time for the conversation. I mean,
there's some Canadian pedigree there with Tavares, right?
I'm a Leaf guy the minute I say anything nice about their team, but he's playing really well. He's producing. He's got a lot of experience. I don't think he ends up on my team. I think that if you're talking about Tavares, it's probably at the expense of Suzuki or Scheifele. And I think I'm probably putting those two guys ahead of John. But he certainly deserves to be in the conversation.
I know when we went through our list of players who are on the team and might not be on the team again, we said Mark Stone's not a lock. However, Huss, let me just throw this at you. He's healthy right now, at least. He's playing right now. I did not realize this until it just popped up in front of me. Mark Stone has 22 points in 13 games this year, which I didn't like. That might be the best point per game. It might be one of the best point per games in the league. We know he does other things that coaching staffs really, really like. If he's healthy, his point per game in his 13 games is just shy of Nathan McKinnon. So when he's been healthy and when he's been playing, he's been relatively effective. If he's healthy, is he on that roster in 3 weeks?
Well, he's got a lot of stuff going for him. Was on Four Nations, Cup winner, captain of Vegas, connections to the guys running the team, all of that.
Yeah.
Here's my question for you. And listen, Stone's a Winnipeg guy. Love Mark Stone.
I know he loves Stone.
Even though I'm still pissed off he went to Vegas and knocked us out of the conference finals. He has been phenomenal. But this tournament, as long as the ice is okay and they actually drop the puck on the damn thing, is going to be the fastest, most skilled tournament we've ever seen on planet Earth. And I did think, if there, for all the great things that Mark Stone does, his foot speed and speed is the one thing that is not at a super elite level. Literally does everything else incredibly well. I do wonder whether they go with a younger, faster player in that role. But, if we're talking about killing penalties, if we're talking about being in some sort of a checking role, playing good defense, he's got the best stick in the NHL. There's a lot of things that will help Mark Stone in that. And of course, with the extra couple spots, I don't think they just want 15 of the same player. And that's part of the reason why you have a Cirelli that's in the mix. Obviously not a massive scorer, but Stone can kind of cross off a couple things. He can be, definitely a productive offensive player. And he also does a lot of the things that you need to do when you're winning a game or when you want to lock down a lead that maybe a lot of the more talented offensive players don't have. So while I say not a lock, the biggest part of the not a lock was the fact that he's played 13 games. So like I think the next couple of weeks is huge for Mark.
Can he
Stone.
stay?
Like,
Can he stay healthy? Right? Like, can he just play
sure,
through
like,
this?
He
Yeah.
had some sort of a setback, or he's really slow getting back to it. I mean, does that hurt him? I don't know, but he's one of those guys you really have to knock off the team because I think they love him. He's got the history of what he's done before for Team Canada, and it's more likely than not actually that I think he's on that team.
Pierre LeBrun on Insider Trading a couple of days ago said this: I think there's a group of players that weren't at Four Nations that remain heavily in the conversation. And then he listed off Celebrini, Horvat, Wilson, Suzuki, Johnston, Scheifele, Bedard. And then he adds, to me, only 3 of those guys will make the Olympic roster. So I would think that means, the Konechny's out. Maybe Seth Jarvis is out. If you're going to go 3 of those guys, it's got it. Like they have, Celebrini should be on this team. I think Tom Wilson should be on the team. And you've made a legitimate case for Mark Scheifele to be the 3rd guy from that group if that's what they decide to go with in the end, right? Like,
the numbers are what the numbers are. Like I think those 3 guys should be on. And I've got some time for Suzuki as well. The question is, okay, well then who's coming off? Now I believe there's 2 extra spots, right? It's 14 or 15 forwards.
So at
Four Nations was smaller.
At Four Nations, it was 13-7-3. Olympics are 14-8-3. So there's an extra forward spot and an extra defensive spot.
Oh, okay.
So if LeBrun is saying only 3 of those guys, those forwards will make it, that means 2 guys would be coming off. There's the extra spot. The 2 guys that would probably come off would be Konechny. I feel like they might keep Sam Bennett on the team. I could see them keeping Sam Bennett on the team.
He was sort of, he was a late ad for the Four Nations.
Yeah.
And he played well. Obviously, he had the great playoff run.
I think Jarvis, if like just from Pierre's thinking, I would to me it would be Jarvis and Konechny who are coming off, and Celebrini, Scheifele, Tom Wilson who are going on. If they wanted to try to keep it close to last team.
For the record, I hope Wilson's on the team.
You don't think he will be, though?
Not expensive Scheifele. He'd be great. There's no fighting or anything in this.
No.
That's the thing. Although, if they have to stage their own event.
It could change things a little bit, yeah.
And all of a sudden, ooh.
But like it's not like we're sitting here going, Tom Wilson's got 6 goals and he just hits people. Tom Wilson's been one of the most productive forwards in the National Hockey League this year.
Yeah.
And on top of that, he's probably the most physically intimidating forward in the National Hockey League as well. So bit of a unicorn. And as of this moment, over on the chat, Cowboy 529 says Bennett and Wilson are basically the same. I mean, from an energy perspective and maybe the role on the team sort of thing. But I mean, Wilson has been a better player this year than Sam Bennett. And I would argue that Wilson hurts more when he hits than Sam Bennett does. I mean, there's no, outside of the Tkachuk brothers, there's really not many guys that can do everything that Tom Wilson can do. And I'm including Sam Bennett in that conversation among the not many guys who can do that. I'm excited to see this roster, man. I'm excited to see what they end up doing. I'm excited to criticize it as a Canadian who always has better ideas. So I think that'll be a lot of fun.
That's going to be our national pastime for the next 2 weeks as we get set to fire up all of the takes. The takes actually are going to be just incredible. The take machine will be fired up and working overtime in every corner of the internet in this country for when this team comes on. And I don't envy the decision makers here because it's really hard. And we often joke like you or I could coach the Canadian team to gold. I mean, obviously that's not entirely true. There are some great teams that they're going to be going up against, but it's an embarrassment of riches. You have a hard time making wrong choices. And then you get to the goaltending. And I mean, we've been talking about this for 4 or 5 years. do we have a guy that can come in and get the job done? And we said the exact same thing going into Four Nations last year. And Binnington,
Well, he made some saves,
somehow
man. Oh, he made some
stepped
saves.
up and
God.
saved that tournament. But it was like he used everything up then, because they had a good run after that and made it to the playoffs. Obviously, they lost in the fashion that they did in round 1 to Winnipeg. And then this year's just been a train wreck.
But the thing is that like undoubtedly the best Canadian goaltender in the National Hockey League for the last 2 years has been Logan Thompson. Like, how do you not have that guy? How do you not have that guy on your team? He's going to have to be on the team.
If something happens that he's not on it, that will be, you want to talk about the take machine getting fired up?
Yeah.
That will be the case, because
especially because we're not a strong goaltending nation as is. Right. And this guy's one of the best goalies in the league. He should be starting. Right? I could see them starting Binnington, but
sitting there. He's not trying to bump a Hellebuck or Ottinger or Swayman or something out of the American roster, even though he would be right up there with those guys based on what he's done for the last couple of years. So it'll be wild. Let us know in the chat who you think is going to be on. By the way, you were just going through those numbers for Braden Point.
Yeah.
Do you know that Logan Stanley has as many goals as Braden Point this year?
Put him on the team.
Hey, big Stan. Had a nice one last night.
All right, let's take a look at the National Hockey League tonight. Big hockey lock shop today, which is always a lot of fun. We've got 4 games on tap tonight in the National Hockey League. Actually, we got into the Oilers a little bit. What about the Jets? What about the Jets last night? I watched those highlights. Looked like a tough one. Dallas is on fire right now, obviously.
Dude, Dallas is so good. Like, listen, they had a tough first shift, and it was 1-0 before they.
Yeah, Lindell, right?
Down.
Yeah.
The Dallas power play is just scintillating right now. I think they came into the game at just under 32%. They scored 2 power play goals in the game, which looked almost too easy. Like, they're probably pushing 33, 34% after that game last night. But to the Jets' credit, they controlled more of the play at 5-on-5 than they have in any game in probably a month. So that was positive. Got a lot of pucks on DeSmith. Dallas, great defense. I mean, they weren't getting a lot of rebounds, but they were working hard. Outshot them by a wide margin. The real kind of quality scoring chances were probably about 50-50. But at 5-on-5, where the Jets have been struggling, they were as good as they've been in a long time. And I would say we're on the better side of things. Now, that doesn't matter if you're getting torched for 2 goals by the league's top power play, but that's what it was. So I think that they're in a situation where they got to win some games. I mean, this dropped them back to 500 now, which is not where you want to be. But they played significantly better than they have. They've got Boston in tomorrow, which will be a good test. And then the best news, and this, every now and then, like, we joke about these insiders and like, oh, the insiders are just telling us stuff that's been on Twitter that we already know. Shout out to Drager for actually dropping some serious news for Jet fans yesterday. I don't know if you caught insider trading, but Hellebuck's surgery went so well, he was trying to get them to allow him to play this week. They go, wait a second, hold off. But in Drager's words, his return is now in a matter of days, not weeks.
Huge.
Massive. I mean, best case scenario, when he went out, we were talking about the game on December 27th. But if he's able to return next week, the Jets have Ottawa on Monday, St. Louis on Wednesday. They have to go to Denver and take on the Avalanche on Friday. And then a big, massive divisional game going into the holiday break against Utah, which is going to be one of these teams that they're battling for one of those wild cards, assuming that Minnesota, Dallas, and Colorado are the top 3 in the Central. So, man, a return of Helly would be huge. Because honestly, last night, and I don't want to hang this on Eric Comrie, but if Hellebuck's in net, at worst, they're getting to overtime. And I think based on what we've seen before from Hellebuck, they're probably winning that game. So they can't get their best player back soon enough, but it could be a lot sooner than any of us thought.
We've got 4 games in the National Hockey League tonight. No super huge favorites either. We got the Rangers minus 141 on the road in Chicago. Basically a pick 'em between the Red Wings and Flames down in Calgary. Utah minus 104 at home. Florida minus 112 on the road. Panthers are in Utah for that one. And then the Kings are minus 147 favorites on the road in Seattle. Starting goaltenders here, Shesterkin for the Rangers, Spencer Knight for the Blackhawks, Devin Cooley has been pretty good for the Flames. That's the first half of a back-to-back for Detroit because they will be here tomorrow. So Cooley's confirmed for the Flames, nothing for Detroit just yet. Vamelka unconfirmed for the Mammoth. Bobrovsky will go for the Panthers tonight. And then that late game, Seattle and the Kings. No goalies confirmed. Could be Kemper and Joey Daccord. It's a small card today, but maybe we find a little 2-gamer here that we can put together and get a boost on it. What do you like?
Yeah. Who did you say was in net for the Wings?
Unconfirmed at this point.
You see, Ville Husso was in last night and saved 44 of 47, which was quite the turnout. By the way, tough luck last night. I know we were talking about a couple different machinations of the games.
Yeah.
I know we were saying, which upset will happen. I ended up betting both of them, Anaheim and Boston, along with the Sens. The Sens, the one favorite on the card.
No way.
And they blew it late. Yeah. So that was tough. That was like a nice, like 725 or something like that. Anyways, I mean, listen, on paper, I'm intrigued with Detroit. They had, and remember, we were worried about, can Tampa's playing back-to-back games. Yeah. They went in and absolutely massacred the Montreal Canadiens. But the Wings played on.
They played 2 days ago.
Monday.
Yeah.
They played on Monday. Nice win. They had John Gibson with the shutout. So do they go back with him? Do they go to the backup? I'm not sure. But
Calgary's won 7 of 10, 3 in a row.
Listen, I know they're playing well and they're playing hard. And I know this Cooley guy's been really good. I just feel like the bottom is going to fall out anytime soon. Like, it's kind of a nice story that they're getting a few wins and they're competitive. But this is a big opportunity for Detroit. And you look at, some of the teams that sometimes are a little unserious, like Buffalo. They went in there every time they scored. They gave one up right afterwards. And I think we're seeing Todd McClellan really take hold of this Red Wings team. We saw it with the performance shutting out Vancouver. I think they've got a good chance to keep that rolling tonight. So I do like Detroit. That's basically a pick 'em. Panthers and the Mammoth is interesting. I mean, let's just quickly check. Like, what's the check of the Panthers? They're 2 games above 500. 1 game, man. This standings are so nuts. Wasn't a week ago Ottawa was in a playoff spot?
Oh man, it's like it changes every 2 days.
Now they're 7th in the Atlantic. What do you think about that Florida-Utah game? Utah has not been good.
No, Utah has been. I mean, the last time we went against Utah, they beat the Ducks 7-0.
Yeah.
Remember that? But since then, they beat Vancouver 4-1. They got shut out by Calgary and then lost to Los Angeles. I do like the Kings tonight. Seattle's lost 6 in a row. Seattle's coming a little bit unraveled there. So I don't hate the Kings. They're one of the bigger favorites. It's still just minus 142. I think I'd probably be on Florida in that Utah game because what's the number on Florida? Florida would be at minus 112.
Yeah, it's basically a pick.
I tell you, I know I shouldn't be scared of Cooley and net for Calgary, but I think I like Florida at minus 112 better than the Wings at minus 108.
Really?
Yeah, I think I do, man. Let's see. Let's just see Cooley's game log here. Like,
he's been hot. He had 3 starts in a row at one point.
Yeah, he's been outstanding. So that's I'm a little bit hesitant to fade that. What's it like? He's got a 920 save percentage right now, 2.17 goals against average. Let's see here. Has he not played since the 2nd? They've been running Wolf here for the last little while.
Let's check it out.
That's what it looks like. That's what I'm seeing on his ESPN game log.
Okay, yeah. I was just gonna pull up.
Like in November, he had games with he came in relief, went 12 of 12, then a 944, then a 933, then a 933, then an 895, then a 927, then a 941, and then against Nashville was not good. His last outing was not good. But in November, he was outstanding. So maybe he's fallen off a bit. Maybe I can be convinced on Detroit, but I don't know, man. Cooley's been pretty good.
I mean, we could just take those 3 games.
We could do the Kings, the Panthers.
Kings, Wings, Panthers, the 3 road teams.
The 3 road teams is plus 513. Yeah, we could go there. We could do that. I mean, we kind of got to get going anyway. We got a couple minutes left. Okay, so I'll send that over. Kings, Panthers, Red Wings, all on the road. It's plus 513. What's coming up on WST today, Huss?
Well, Matt Larkin's going to join me from Daily Faceoff. We're going to dive into a bunch of Olympic topics. We'll obviously break down yesterday's game. And the bosses are in town. Gary Bettman, Bill Daly.
What's going on there?
Well, they were just mixing it up at the rink last night, taking in Jet Stars, and I think details on the Heritage Classic that is coming to Winnipeg on October 26th, I believe. Part of the reason why the Bombers are playing their last 2 games on the road. And then a bunch of questions about the Olympics, too. So we'll get into that. Ken Weave's going to jump on. Connor's down at the press conference. We'll have him. So, yeah, lots of Jets, NHL talk, and Olympic stuff coming up at the top of the hour.
All right, good stuff, buddy. We'll let you go, and we'll actually, I have a meeting tomorrow, so I won't be on Log Shop, but I will be back on Friday for NFL picks.
Nicely done. Nicely done.
There you
WST poker tourney tonight, by the way, gang. Any ESTers that want to join us, check the socials for details. And first qualifier for the Costa Rica trip is tonight. So, 8 p.m. Central if you want to join us.
All right, good stuff, buddy. There you go. That's Huss from Winnipeg Sports Talk. If you want to check them out tonight, you can do that. A couple of things. Let's see here. What do we have up already? Okay, so we've got the ongoing Trent Frederick goal play of the day at plus 540. And then the early bird bet, Lakers and DeAndre Ayton. Lakers money line, DeAndre Ayton over 13.5 points. And then I just threw over the Kings, the Panthers, and the Red Wings, plus 513 before a boost. Edmonton Sports Talk and the Lock Shop brought to you by Play Alberta. PlayAlberta.ca, click on EST Specials. Download the Play Alberta app, click on EST Specials. Use the code EST Sports, deposit 50, get $50 free play. Or try out the casino. EST Casino, deposit 50, get 50. You'll play there as well. We've got the oil stream coming up. What will we discuss today? How about accountability for Evan Bouchard? Unless you're okay with things like this happening. At minimum once a month. Sometimes 5 times in 2 weeks. We'll get into that a little bit coming up. But that's going to do it for the Lock Shop today. Thank you very much for watching. Thank you very much for listening. Oil stream is on the way. Best of luck if you're riding with us tonight, and talk to you tomorrow.